The Patriots have been active. And let's put the offense aside for a second, because what's really interesting is the defensive side of the ball. Because the Patriots are trying to crack the code. What code? Positionless football. That code. For a while now, there have been analytical numbers that point to the inefficiency of the run game. And defenses have been trying to figure out how to stack as much coverage on the field as possible and show a light box without allowing the run game to hit its efficiency marks. And there was a fantastic article written recently by Mark Schofield, I'll leave that in the comments section below for you to look at, that goes into the detail of this to a degree. It's been something that the college football ranks have been trying for years, and it's something that's starting to move into the NFL game due to the fact that all these college principles from offense are moving into the NFL game. This concept has been known long enough that when New England made the positional moves that they made last year to put the bodies they did in their defense, we expected New England to do it last year. We knew that New England was trending in this direction, and the curiosity of it was, how is this actually going to work? The two key players that were added that pointed to this change were Adrian Phillips and Kyle Duggar. These are the two pieces that allow that movement into this modern style of defense. Now, New England has already shown some 3-3-5. They've shown some twisted 4-2-5 or 4-2-5. They've shown some 5-1-5. They've even shown six-man fronts with five behind. They have been rotating in through different concepts of this for a couple of years now. But despite everybody looking at the 3-3-5 as this new modern look, the 9-man stack in the box with three safeties high, three linebackers, three defensive ends, that is not what is going to work in the NFL. And there are a couple things that point to this. All you have to do is go back and look at New England versus San Francisco to see the biggest problem that the 3-3-5 is going to show. And that's jet motion. These zone run game scheme teams with their jet motion can pull bodies out to the perimeter. And what you saw with San Francisco, and then what you saw Dable copy the next week, is that with this jet motion, you can ruin the gaps and you can get too vertical up the field. In the 3-3-5, you have two issues. There's going to be one natural bubble in your defensive line and then the perimeter. And you saw the same issue with San Francisco against New England, with Buffalo against New England, where the guard was able to climb into Adrian Phillips and the running back is getting far too vertical, far too fast, and they're picking up 6, 8, 9 yards every single carry before the defense has the chance to rally. You cannot run the 3-3-5 in the NFL and have the reduced size bodies for coverage range that you want, due to the teams like Tennessee, Green Bay, the Rams, Cleveland, Minnesota, and Atlanta now, who are all doing the zone run blocking, jet motion, and teams even like Buffalo who have picked up on it against the right opponent. That will put you in a position where you are immediately getting hit straight downhill and the run game efficiency is going to just rush too high. But there is another answer. There actually is an answer. And that's where I'm wondering if New England is getting to. Because when you look at the front six for the Patriots, you have the edges in Judon and Jennings and Uche and Winovich. You have a number of people who fit the off-ball linebacker position in Phillips, Duggar, and Chung, who are box safeties who can reduce down. You have the coverage safety in Mills to replace that when they come down. You have the Mike linebacker who can be a downhill thumper, Hightower. But to play the defense that I'm expecting them to get to at some point in time here, you need two massive defensive tackles who can kill the guard-center-guard gap. Godchow, that's one. Bo Allen coming back from injury, that would be two. And expect New England to continue down this path looking for big-bodied defensive tackles. Because I expect that when teams figure out this code, this light box kill run efficiency code, that they will realize that the defense that they need in this league is the 2-4. 2-4-5 stack. Two defensive tackles in the middle who ruin the guard-center-guard gap. Make sure that they cannot get upfield without going off guard first. Second off, the outside contain with the outside backers in a 2-4. Making sure that you can protect your cornerbacks on the outside. Otherwise, you need cornerbacks who are physical enough to handle the block of the wide receiver and fill. And finding guys who can handle the physicality of cornerback and cover on a high level costs a lot of money. But the 2-4 defense does a number of very impressive things. Having two huge bodies in the middle prevents the guard, center, and guard from climbing. It prevents teams from going with a double-double on the interior because the two big bodies can anchor to that. It prevents them from pushing them down the field, scraping and climbing to the next linebackers. And the things that the 2-4 does with its front is specifically to make sure that linemen can't climb to the second level. If you want speed and angles to be your guide on how you stop the run on defense, you cannot have offensive linemen climbing. If offensive linemen get the ability to climb to the second level, you are immediately losing because you're getting big on little constantly. And New England never got to the 2-4 last year. And the reason why that was is because Bo Allen wasn't the second big body in the middle. They lost Danny Shelton. They only had Lawrence Guy, who's a good run defender, but he isn't exactly the mammoth piece in the middle that takes double teams. And when Lawrence Guy was out, it just got ugly. On top of that, Bentley just did not possess the same qualities that Hightower did from the thumper linebacker role. The toolbox that they've built has the potential to get to this. And that is what they're after. They're not after the 3-3-5. They're not after the 5-1-5. They're after the code. They want to break the code. They want to set the new precedent of how defense is going to be played in this league. That's what Belichick is trending towards. So we're still expecting New England to add one more big piece so that they don't have to count on a Bo Allen type run stuffer in the middle. Slayton, Selvin, Jones in the draft are possibilities there. Also possible that they could grab another bigger body in the free agent market. And if you see that final piece hit, know that New England is putting two guys on the field who are defensive tackles, and the rest of it is positionless football. You have outside linebackers, rush guys who can play contain and can drop into coverage. You have three safeties on the field at all time. You have one linebacker who's more of a middle of the field linebacker, zone dropper in Hightower. But this gives you a lot of different coverage capabilities. It also gives you a ton of blitz and twist opportunities for pressure looks. And if you show an offense, I know 2 who are coming after your passer, 4 are going to be in coverage. That leaves 5 guys that you have to figure out what they are today. And that is a very tough place for an offense to be. So we've been talking about positionless football for a number of years now. We've been talking about run game inefficiency for a number of years now. And the 3-3-5 has been the first answer. But the problem with that answer is that the zone game, the jet motion, and the double-doubles have proven that that is not a winning formula. The question is, can New England get to the final answer? The final answer being the 2-4, which has shown potential in the college ranks to answer those problems, answer those questions, and still give you 9 bodies that the offense needs to figure out on a play-to-play basis. It allows you to stack coverage, it allows you to stack speed, and it prevents offensive linemen from climbing into the second level and ruining all of your gap fits. And whether or not that answer shows up this year, and whether or not New England gets to it, this is the second year in a row that New England has composed their defense in a way that points to them aiming for it. It's only a matter of time now. If you stuck through to the end of the video, thank you. I finally got a chance to talk a little bit of defense because the New England template that they're building right now is so absolutely interesting that we need to cover it. I'll go back to doing fantasy football, quarterbacks, draft stuff. Don't worry. Love you guys. We need you. Stay strong, and I'll see you on the other side.